All right. I want to have a chat in a minute. Just went back for a second.
As soon as they got the control, they finessed this person and kicked them. They didn't realize that they only finessed them because they kicked them out or whatever this is. Like something wasn't what they seen. Yeah, and somebody realizing like all of this is because all this happened is because you grew from a situation, your personal growth, your attitude towards change, or something like that. You could have had a rebirth. Okay, something could have came to an end for you to have this rebirth. Okay.
So imagine people using energy, like I've talked about, there's energy and you can tap into things. So imagine people tapping into an energy to create something so they believe someone needs a rebirth, so they can talk about that someone doesn't have a heart as they've seen how they reacted, but they seen it then. And as you can change the future, definitely if you're talking about the future, someone can hear what they've seen now and then they're able to talk to change that future, right? And explain what went down, what they seen, you see. But they can try to explain what they believe, what they want to create to go down, right? Definitely with other energies and other French, you see, and tools and people, and money.
Shit like that. I know it's crazy, right? Collective.
But these don't work if they're trying to break a relationship if the other partner knows what's working, because they're meant to come in afterwards and go, see, this is why we said this, right? He's had no heart when you went through this. This is why I need to say this. This is how they get these people. And then they either create it or they let it happen and make up bullshit to let you know. You know what I mean? And I'll explain to you what went down in a minute. And why it went down. And these people that read is part of that problem. A little bit like the Matrix when he goes here, or will I have knocked out bars if you didn't mention it? You see? Just wait after the quiet moment. She's got to have to think about what they've seen, because sometimes they re-look into the future again. You know, shit, now I've got to try to change it. Have you heard them say that? We've got to try to fix something. And then they try again, and then they do something else, look in the future, try again. It's constantly changing, so it'll be a war of that. Everything's always a war if you're not going to connect, you see. And anyway, good luck with learning out there. Now, what's words of manipulation when it comes to the spirit land? Make yourself sound good. Easy words too. Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit.
So some of my plans backfired. This is unexpected here. Queen of Wands is having a tower moment.
What would you say if there's only energy and aliens and perhaps a person has been around that showed and used energy, and we have stories about it, we called them God and that because they said it come from God, is you couldn't understand how they do what they do, so they can manipulate you. Imagine having just a history of those stories and be lost and confused. Wouldn't that be sad?
Yeah. This is somebody that
because everyone wants to be God, you know?
Walked away from here. They're aimlessly wandering now. Alright. There could have been some sort of delay here.
Now, when I get frustrated, I tend to walk around a bit. Do you aimlessly wander when you get frustrated to think what you're going to do next? Do you, Emma?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I do. So I did that earlier, just for a little bit.
Communication, bad memories of the past with this person.
Bad memories.
They having a fear of
perhaps of what the clips I've just put up. Bad memories, people.
here.
How many coincidences do you need to be not a coincidence?
They having a lot of setbacks right now. They should have listened to their intuition here.
How close of a reading would you want to be to want to communicate and be a good communicator and be something that a person who's reading would want to know? Don't know. Is it just a couple of things? One thing?
They were going to have some financial setbacks because they didn't have the strength at all. They didn't have any power over anyone or over anyone's feelings or emotion. Like somebody gets cold as shit, they don't give a fuck. And that was this especially if this person was kind of trying to abuse you in any kind of way, it's like, oh well, that's what happens, you know. So
Now, when we go through lessons, we talk to people, and they can be good or bad. When you go see Catholics, they'll just tell you straight away, it's God's be, maybe you're a sinner, rah, 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 rah. So when that went down, that incident of the Mass, I've been taught, hang on, I'm just going to get Stella. And like I said about things that energy can tap into, to, you know, just fuck around. Stella doesn't usually do this, so just believe what she's want to believe, but she wants to get on the room. She'll probably want to come out. But she's done it more often than ever. More and more recently. And of course, if you can, you know, tap things, phones, and play around with energy, that stuff is a piece of cake, isn't it? Just something you gotta curious and study. You let me know what study you used to.
they're shocked because they feel like they can't finesse somebody anymore. They about to kick their ass out.
Yeah, finessing.
Right?
Yeah. And so they were hoping that when I played a bit of lessons about, well, what lesson is this from what just went down? I'm not crying now. I've been through these lessons, and I'm on to something else, and I've been talking about something else, and about just recently about being happy and an incident happening. Haven't I, Emma, about those type of things?
Yeah.
Including the police turning up and all that. I've even told the police. Huh? There's always an incident. It's amazing. Like, we can't get too happy, because an incident will happen. Huh? That's why I say, and the Bible even says that if you're a good person, you'll get these incidents. And perhaps it's true, but perhaps the whole world's already screwed, and we've already got our Nanable. Definitely, if you have the devil that reads the future, and we've had stories and witches and old clips about Robin Hood with these type of people, isn't it? But anyway, we just got happy, just done a video, and we were happy, weren't we? You were about to do a video, weren't you, baby?
Yeah.
Right? And then that happened. And they do that, so I can do this, so they can speak about no heart in their little own group, as they believe they're an alchemist, and they could be listening. Who knows? They don't communicate, right? And only certain people with certain badges could know. But that's if they've got a heart and they've got a true God and they do things righteously. But there's hard spots to find like that these days, isn't there? And so we all talk, and that's why I'm going to disappear, because really talking the truth in this world only gets you into trouble. It really does, because it's non-existent in this time still, and never has been. Pockets, maybe, in areas where they can keep the facade in if they can, certain rules, but other than that, there's no real truth and justice and freedom, and using science to work that out with facts and debate. There's only hearsay. You can't debate. I'll let you debate. Here's the words debate, and that's saying your time's up. That's not even a debate. Real debate, has no time. It has questions, and the debate that has a time, how can you solve it as a real debate, you see? I ask people that at question time. I bet you they go, huh? You hear them all the time, huh? You know? Because it's fake. It's not real system. It won't give you a real outcome, will it? Huh? So it needs to change, but it doesn't. Why is that? But now, I'm going to keep trucking. See if I can say a few more things.
Alright. How's this coming in? Yeah, Three of Pentacles in the reverse, lack of teamwork.
Now, if I didn't say all this, what could have went down? Could it be what they said? Could people propaganda certain outcomes if they're watching little cameras in this house? Right? Little cameras. So it's easy to do. New burglars, as I've talked about, can break in your house, set up little cameras, have offline internet, laugh at you and everything. The cops can't do shit. They haven't got the right equipment. They're always ahead. People talk about it, even these days, even though it could exist. They go, it's fake. I try to go to the cops, talk about some weird things and things happening. Can I have a chat? I've got some video, I've got a few things. And then all I get is, oh, that could be fake. And that, nah, it's right, mate. What? Huh? Make you look like a fool. Do you want to keep going? No, you wouldn't. You just go, oh my God. You can't even really get an interview like they say on TV, where people go in and go, can I have an interview? And what do they get? No, they get an interview, don't they? Yeah. And these days, you know, that's not true. Unless they want to, right? Certain dude with a badge might go right in there, right? And go, he's not right. And go in there, right? But you might have a business or something like that. Go in there as a bum, right? And then ask what you want to ask and see if you get the truth. Right? And make sure they don't know on that, and see what outcome you get. Do it a few times if you don't get the right outcome straight away, then I'm pretty sure you should. Huh?
I had a Absolutely. Silence.
Tell them you got God on your
You're
side.
not fucking with somebody.
And you really do, because you pretend you're a bum, right? Tell them you got God on your side. See what happens. I bet you they'll laugh. It's a human thing.
Something probably planned it and worked.
Because they believe you should have money, you see? Even though that's wrong in the Bible. Holy shit!
Moving forward here, some more calm orders.
Too much propaganda, that's why.
Trying to get moving forward, some more calm orders here.
Now, to move forward to calmer waters,
The path they chose.
if you've already been talking about things, which is what I just said to Emma, you would record it once again. Now, I'm trying to pull out, but if you try to pull out in such incidents when they're doing that, you know what's going to happen, and it's sad, but that's them. It's like the bad guys, if they know you can do you over, or they're going to go all the way anyway, is that it'll get worse because they want me to talk. So you'll have me coming back doing these things, going, what's this, what's that? And they have a laugh and go, look, we got him back, told you. You're not going nowhere because we'll make these things happen. And then I say, because I was already practicing something while they laugh their head off with energy, because it's not that. And I've learned about energy and I'm learning something else, right? Because I keep studying, just like they might have done. And you could do too, if you really want to check it yourself, because in the end, true studying, you can try to spread it, but if they don't listen, they don't learn. People know about TVs, they know it's real, it works. But the ones that studied it, they know how to build it. Same with vehicles, you see? So there's a difference, isn't there? And then you can manipulate that if you want. Hold it back, charge whatever you want, like they do with medication, and blah, 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 as they can, as they've got God apparently, and they've got the money and the power, and they can. Maybe the law they've made up, because they can do that too, you know? So you got to look out for that. And that's just true. That's why some countries are worse than others, because of that truth. Because it's up to us collectively.
They betrayed you. That's why they're not getting victory and success. That's why they can't move forward. The cycle is completely over here. They know they.
So if I was all right about that story, who has betrayed me? Have I betrayed anyone in this story by things I'm speaking about? Perhaps betrayed myself by speaking the truth when I know I shouldn't. Perhaps I'm already ready to go in this world if I knew such things not real anymore. Would you? Perhaps I'm curious at the last step of getting my ass kicked and put in the line. What do you reckon? Perhaps I want that test. Perhaps once I pass that test, I'm going to give it to everybody else because I'll say, I'm still kicking. You need it too. What do you reckon? It'll upgrade us all. But we don't know. We'll find out. What you got to say? We're halfway.
Made a wrong choice by overindulging with these fake friends or whatever. Alright, with this home that they live with or whatever this is, because they actually block the reconciliation.
Cameras,
block the ability for y'all
internet,
to bring something back into balance
friends.
Because you see this person as toxic and it's like, no, you're
can play games around the street.
What's the outcome of the situation?
Very easy. And if you think I'm wrong, police, or anyone who ever rings this thing, I'm happy to debate and show you when you give me money, I'll show you what I can do with money. Okay? Happy to debate. The things I'm talking about can be done. And how do you know it's not getting done? You let the public know how we're safe and it's not happening to people, and if it does, we're instantly on it, because like chasing a dude that's speeding or knowing that someone's drunk because we've got to test it, says it's drunk and we can physically see it as well. We even know how drunk they are.
Sun card in the reverse. Sadness, loneliness, disappointment, and depression. That they can't get your attention. You don't care. They had a fall from grace. 6 of Wands in the reverse. This is a fall from grace for this person.
So when I come to after that video, what did I do? I went and comforted Emma. It's a very sad moment. I've been there, felt it, I know it. And I know exactly what to say. I can even hug her and all that, and I said that to her. But I needed to talk about a few other things, as I'm been already going through issues in my life, and these things just need to hear it, apparently, right? And have their say about it, right? So you can say I do 2 birds in 1 stone. I can do that as well, and they talk about it, that it shouldn't hurt, and I'm still in study. And so, and there's 2 ways of going about things when it comes to death. It's good to have someone around, have some time, not say anything, just be quiet. That's actually the best thing. Just have someone there. I mean, someone has to sacrifice themselves, like visiting someone in a hospital, all right, when you can, and to show that you love them and all that kind of stuff, right? If you've got no excuse to be there, right? You're better off being there, right? You're not sick of needles, and sick people don't get you sick when you're around there. You know, no real excuse of not being there. You haven't got a job or anything, right? You should be there. It shows you love. If you're not, you're just playing video games and doing boring shit. It shows you then you'd rather do boring shit than help someone. Where's the love, right? And so I gave some words to advice to Emma, and she went and did a thing for a little bit in the room, and I said I was here for her, and I'm just got to do my own thing for a little bit. And she wanted her own time anyway, so it all worked out. But I do know it would have been better for me to be there, but I'd rather keep studying on something because that's all what keeps me sane, as they say. As there's no use keep living if you can't get the answer of what you study. And this is part of it, and it's a critical moment, like when deaths happen, doctors run in to get critical tests done. Even though the death is sad, they're going to hack and chop up a body. It's got to do with research, definitely if you're already doing it, you see. And so I kept going with the research, even though they attack and then try to use your attack for their benefit, as that's what bad guys do. Attack, 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 manipulate and benefit, right, in any way possible for them. And so I stayed with Emma just for a little bit and let her be and helped her out in any way I can, as best I can. And hopefully it was loving. And I'm about to ask her now that I've got to this part, as I'm talking and she's sitting over there with the mice now. Was I loving enough with the things I've been through?
Yeah.
And clear? Thank you. Which I thought too. Anyway. Yeah. But it's also good when I'm there too. You know. As I feel and know, as I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah, and they don't know what.
Including doing accidents, killing animals, as in one I was just recently told Emma was about the lizard, Emma? Well, I left it on a bench once, a little baby lizard in Melbourne when I was bordering, cleaning, and I left it around couches I used to live around a few weeks, and I found it on the beach underneath old stairs that weren't getting used anymore, broken down, underneath stairs, concrete, and brought it home, and I ended up drowning it. Because I left the sink up full of water and went and mucked around with friends. I was doing something for a few minutes and it crawled off into the sink. And then I come back to finish off the dishes. And there was a bit of soap in it too and a little bit of a lip, so it wouldn't have barely got out and nothing to climb on. And it drowned. It was warm still and everything. I even tried to do CPR to it. Right? You might think it's funny. I sort of laugh at it, but that's what I did. I didn't do mouth to mouth. I was blowing sort of thing. I didn't get sort of that close, but I was pumping its little stomach. I was hanging it upside down. I was hoping. It was warm, but it was already in warm water, right? And no go in the end for my poor little lizard. And we learned things, and I cried, as we do if you have a heart. And haven't been through enough of it, enough times, sometimes, right? Hearts can eventually fully break, and you can get to a part where you're not emotional at all. Right? In fact, you start laughing at it, right? And you start sounding like the person I put up before. And everyone has good advice, but it depends on how you see and put that advice, because everything can be put in a negative, positive way. And if you see it just a negative, like they class the Joker is, and these Joker advice they put up with the Joker talking like he knows something good for people, but he does know good advice. But how are you going to use it? You see. Hopefully you don't turn out like the Joker movies, otherwise you're using that advice he says to the negative.
Grace for this person. Yeah, and they don't know what to do. They don't have nowhere to go or whatever. They got to sacrificing they wanted you to walk away from something.
That part, nowhere to go. Now, if someone else was listening to these, which they are because they've talked about Bella, that texts me, might think that this is for them, like thinking no one's got nowhere to go, or be part of that problem to create that, would say, why don't they come over here? They can stay here. And that was crazy that someone who someone's scared of, literally, would want to go stay at. That's weird, isn't it? And literally, they want to be here, and they can't be at other places because they're not wanted properly. But if a psycho idiot and other weirdos want to have people, that's weird, right? Doesn't need to be. They create people not being around. They don't need the people who create the problem to fix their problem. Weird, right?
I wanted you to abandon your dreams for them. Like, kidding me? When all they had to do was grow with you? Absolutely not.
And that's what I've talked about when it comes to all the things in it. Connection. growing with people. Not connection killing,
Somebody know they fucked
connection
up.
growing.
Yeah, they did
What does that
all
mean
wrong
to you?
things. That's why
And if,
they're having a whole
and if anyone watched my videos, they could only say one thing with the evidence there, as you could speak, like I'm speaking through this one, about who was doing wrong and who was doing right.
for three at this point.
Who had the right to do wrong, if there was one, and who didn't.
Yeah, whoever this Queen of Wands is. Knight of Wands could be a Sagittarius, strong Sage here. Alright, that you're no longer willing to partner up with. You don't care. Whatever happens. Somebody really did some real fuck.
Guess what I ordered this week? Some sword knife shapes to go on that altar. Now, and some roses. I've already got some roses, some glow in the dark ones, and I'm going to make up something with it and put it onto it. They're made of plastic or epoxy. And I thought I'd go the cheap route and see what I can get first when it comes to roses. Right? And ordered and got these orders. Right? And I've had people help me out to get these orders. As I wouldn't have done it all by myself, so that's why we have friends and people who want to see the right goals and certain things turn out too. Right? And will sacrifice certain things as well to get goals. That's what we do when we use our money. We can always do something else. And so I ordered them. Wasn't quite happy with it all. Needed a little bit more. And so I had to get on to order some more stuff. And then when I got on, I get on and I go with a bit of, energy field, right? With the energy and what we feel and what we see and what we get around us. And see what's on special with the deals and all that kind of stuff on Temu. Right? Even though I've got a lot of things to say about things, we go where we need to go and talk about what we need to talk about and do what we need to do. And so I'm happy to do with the actions I do and debate people if they want to have a real conversation about things that makes common sense, not just attacks. Right? Attacks, you try to say a few things, but they can go forever, so you've got to shut it off. And so I've ordered these things, try to get a good cheap deal. You know how you get the pictures, how they look good and then you don't? And I knew that was coming too. And then I'm like, and I was going to order crystal ones, and more crystals, but they're a bit expensive, and I need a little bit with a low budget. And so I try to look at low things. You can get a good deal if you look around and so on. But besides all that, I had to order some more stuff to finish that altar, to fill it up and have some stuff for it. And the things that don't work out go to another piece, doesn't get wasted and all that kind of thing. And so I decided, first thought was to get some more of these roses, as I can't use certain parts for this bit and didn't work out as good and all that kind of stuff. But we've learnt something and it's not going to get wasted. And I looked on there and I looked for discounts. $7 was the roughly the cheapest discount. The only thing that can come with a crystal and rose crystal, solid crystal. I did see at one stage it's off and on Temu. You have some things available and then it's not available. You have to wait to another time. So it's timing and what they've got available in the market on certain places. Couldn't find any of the rose heads of all the searching I was looking and typing in. Sometimes things change when it comes to search engines, but couldn't find it all. But found these roses. They vary between $20 a rose if you go to, when you're a quick looker, and just grab first choice all the time. You might get a good deal straight away. Sometimes it all depends, but a lot of times it's the dearer prices. It's how eBay used to work. They start from what they're going to make more profit of if they sell it. Right? So the bigger the money is, more. So they'll show you that. But if you have more time, and more time as people who've had before poorer would look more, get a better deal. Right? That's how usually that algorithm works. Right? And so they can vary from $20 for these roses, and I end up looking after about an hour. And can save me definitely if you wanted to buy more. But with Temu, as they get limited stock, that's how you get price down. So when they're usually cheap, you're down to about 10 items or something. So you can't go massive bulk, right? But you're down to just a few items as they get pretty cheap. And then they'll go pretty quick, right? Until there's nothing. And so there was only a limited 7 of these things, 10 of them, 12, and all these kind of things, 3, right? All out of stock because you can get them all in different crystals and different colours, right? Stamps. And then I could get the whole stem, size about the phone, 15, 16 centimetres high or so. They were up to 20 roughly, all sort of different sizes, with a crystal little rose on top, a couple of centimetres, up to 3 centimetres to 3 centimetres. for about $7 to $6.11. I think I got, depends on which crystal, but 7 was the highest. If I didn't get certain other crystals that went up to $12, right? They did a sudden jump to 10 to 12 and 9, and so I thought I'll just stick to the $6-7 mark, and I got a few selected out of it up to 6-7 of them. Got them first, and then I'm like, well, what else could I get if I just go just crystals? I'll look at the crystals again, and I'll see if I can get crystal shapes. What can I get that's more crystal? I'm after the bang of the buck and more crystals, and I can use, right? That's what I'm trying to connect with, and they last longer than the metal. So if it's all crystal, that'd be better than half metal, half crystal, kind of thing, all crystal robes, all crystal something. So I checked that out as I was looking at the knives and that at one other stage, and other all crystal animals and stuff. And the knives popped up. And last time I was looking at them, they were $10 or $12 was the cheapest. But I got them to get down about $7, right? And $8, I think, on one. So roughly the same as the roses. And they're the same height and everything. And all stone, like I said. And even wider from the bottom to the top, 2 centimetres down to a tip. You know, how knives go up the top. Some of them are a star, I think, and a cat. And there's one, I'm not 100%, but they were mixed. A cat head, or a fox head, and moonhead knives, and that's what I end up picking. I thought the second choice was better. It had more bang for its buck of quality, as they say, right? And I picked that, and it was just over $40. As you've got to make just over a $40 order when it comes to Temu. And that's what I did. So what do you think about that for a sign, and why I did what I did? Would you do such an action? As I was connecting to both, and I already had some roses. And how would you see that, besides the energy and how it connect through us about what we like and think? Is there a spiritual meaning to that? And do we just add it, right? Or is there really one? And how can we prove such things? But anyway, that's what I did. For when it comes to the back altar there, internal flame, but it's not internal flame yet. But it looks like one, right? It's shaped like one. It sort of is. But it's not the full internal flame, as I haven't got a cool thing that can not be put out and be fueled and not be have to be fueled up, because anything you can have internal flame, like make it, like put a light in there, right? Have it on internal, like light flame, it's like a flame, internal flame, but it's electricity. You can have an internal flame that's gas, but if the gas runs out, you've still got to fill it up, so it's not internal, because it's not self-filling, you know what I mean? Supplying itself, as I call it. An internal flame truly is. It just appears and it never goes out. Hey, babe. Yeah. That'd be an internal flame. But other than that, everything's fed, right, or has to be replaced. Otherwise, it's not internal, is it? So no one truly has one. But if you wanted one, that's the kind of things we'd try to do, wouldn't it? But it all comes with finance when it comes to that. So even that's not internal, because things can happen. Anyway, let's just truck on just for a minute here, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Somebody really did some real foul shit. Guidance, where would it lead you? Hey, they thought that you was going to miss.
Now, swords can mean, knives can mean many ways, and it depends on how you want to perceive it, on who it's coming from, or what actions. And I see sword as a knife as stabbing through bullshit, a start of a new beginning, right? And you need tools. A knife is a tool to carve as well. So it depends on how you see it. Some other people go, well, it looks like a serial killer that you want to know, that you want to stab into people, so you can say that, can you? Right? It depends on how you want to interpretate it, right? As they've recently talked about, that if someone fucks them over, they might want to stab them, right? Or someone could stab them. You know what I mean? Just because people go, you know, you shouldn't do such actions because in psychology it says this, and then they want to switch around psychology because they got a better badge. What do you reckon? It does happen.
Someone you don't. Like, why would you miss somebody that stabbed you in the back? I don't give a fuck.
And the only way to really twist around real psychology without the badge, and the ones with the badges should have it too, but they do get away with it, is having the proof with it, right? More evidence to back up the proof, like they try to say at the thing. I'm going, well, we want more evidence that it wasn't just that. If someone wanted to stab you, right, and said that, and they walked away, wouldn't they come out to go do that? If that's what they mean, that'll be evidence of trying to back up someone and say, there, he was going to stab me. That's what he wanted to do, right? Or if they walked out with something else, he was about to shoot another point, right, the psychology, and didn't come out with a knife, as he was talking about. Do you know people do this kind of stuff? This can happen, right? And when they said that to these people, what outcome do they get? Except, oh yeah, oh no, I didn't know you can go that far and learn a lesson. They say, we'll do it. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? That sounds egging on. That sounds like why I wouldn't want to do such a thing, and definitely wouldn't want to do an action after that, wouldn't it? But they were hoping, in some cases, these people, don't they?
Somebody that stabbed you in the back. I don't give a fuck if this was your family. I don't give a shit. Why would you even care?
And you see these bad guys do it to get something over something because they've already done bad to you or others. And so they try to make it look like they're the good guy. Hitler was good at it.
Happens to them. They betrayed you. That's ridiculous. Oh, but it's someone. Who gives a fuck? They're still a person.
Betraying me is saying that you'll connect or saying something and it never happens, like years later. Right? That's betrayal, wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you think, Emma? Yeah, something like that. That's betraying. Like how long before people do things to you before it's betraying you, you know what I mean? Like leave a comment but never get one. After a while you'd be like, well, you're betraying me, wouldn't you? See?
This is even given like, this is sad, but I'm gonna say it. This is even given like a mother figure, right? Or a father figure.
Then you can even hope the mother or father figure, if anything bad goes to happen, would step in to make sure that they see the point and go, well, hoping that when you saw his videos, you would connect. But you're opposite to everything you said. And if it was fake, you shouldn't have put it up because this could happen and now you're attacking them. You know, they could say something like that, couldn't you? But anyway.
Take it as it resonates. Alright? You do all this cool shit to keep, like, say you calling your baby father or you calling your baby father. Yeah, you know,
Anyway,
come pick
looks
up
like
little.
Getting out of hand there, I don't need that.
If somebody wants you to be in a toxic situation.
Now, once again, I'll just finish off. That's a similar thing to my story. Toxic situation. That's why I've got cameras. I was already being put into a toxic situation as sometimes housing and certain things can have other tenants that are next to you that can be toxic. Accidents and incidents happen in your life, so you may get security cameras, and then you try to then you get another tenant or other people who try to get you to remove cameras in a way similar to why you got them in the first place. Sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? But it's true. But anyway.
Never bite night. What they say? I know it's an old ass saying. Never look a gifted horse in the mouth, ass energy, something. Like, don't never bite the hand that feeds you. Never do none of that shit. But this person looks stupid now that they chose this path. All they can do is spy, try to be immature here, see what you doing, who you talking to. Like, bitch, mind your business, ho.
Now, who's talking my account, everybody, on that one?
This is somebody that's definitely did a lot of moon
That's why I've got this artist account now.
Whoever she is, jealous-hearted.
I've made it hard for the stalker.
Jealous-hearted, controlling. They sabotage their own stuff, so they deserve to be fucked up.
But anyone from here goes to that stalker and talks, you made it easy for them. And it lets me know how much more evil's out there. Just before I totally finish up. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Anyway, have a good one out there. I'm going to finish up no matter what. But I'll finish up quicker if certain things happen, as they say. But have a good one and see you later.